What you just saw was just a blow up world of my old survival. This is my main survival. Just about everything you see here was built in survival. All this was built in survival. Very few stuff was built in creative. This here was built in creative. A little bit of this pit was built in creative. Most of it was in survival. I kid you not. This tower, survival. This, survival. That house, survival. This block, survival. I'll explain more about that block in another video. But this was all survival, no creative. This was before Minecraft allowed, or Mojang allowed, game mode switching in Pocket Edition. All that. And all that. None of that was creative. I don't really like how this inventory's been switched around a lot. I don't like it. I've been playing Minecraft Pocket Edition for a long time. I remember the first, well, it could have been the first, maybe the second. I'm just going to say second to be safe. But I remember the second craft inventory menu. Completely different. And then it turned into something better. And then better. And then, in my opinion, it's gotten worse. Yes, that armor was creative. This command block's creative. This portal was creative. All that was survival. Including that, except for the armor and the head and the nether reactor core, which I'll explain later. Shulker box, that was creative. And another block here, stonecutter block, I'll explain that. Little diner, this was built in survival. I promise you, survival. That was not a lie. That horse was creative. Recently, this house was survival. This was a little game I made after watching lots of Skydoes Minecraft videos. I was like, how about I'll create a little map, and I did. In survival. I'm really proud of this world. This house, that house, this house, this farm. Oh, I need to plant that. That well. This house, the jail or prison, this bank, this little artwork, even this. All in survival. Most of these houses belong to my siblings. Back when we played multiplayer together. It's my sister's house. Sister, brother. And they all had little shops. My sister had a blacksmith shop. My other sister had a diner just like me. I don't know why she did that. And then my brother had a store. That donkey was not part of his livestock. That was put there by accident. And then this house was a friend of mine. He called himself Batmina. But yeah. And then this was an execution center. Yes, execution. Execution. Back then when I couldn't spell. Oh, and a place over here. This is creative as well. I really like how I did that. There's a whole bunch of small tunnels in this mountain. Back then when this was in hardcore survival and I was looking for iron. I made that house in survival as well. Back then, before this, the reason why it looks like that is because this was an old world back then. Before they Mojang allowed infinity worlds to be put on here. It was an old world, and I wanted to make a house somewhere kind of far from where I normally lived. Kind of like a little vacation thing. So I made this. Just a very simple house. Haven't used this yet. And then got a small garden. That was the end of my little map. Most the stuff that was put in here was stuff that I earned from survival, but then I put some stuff in here from creative, like the diamonds. There was the emerald. I just put that in there for fun, but I did actually have about 5 diamonds in there if you won. I think that was my old house, or oh, this was my old house. This was my old house. Oh, no one found that chest. Just for fun, I put random chests around my world a long time ago and challenge the others. See how many they could find. This was my sister's house. Got really mad at her at one point, so I blew up her house. And then this was my house before, and there are multiple levels below this where I was searching for diamond. I managed to find 3 diamond, and that was like the last time I found diamond in, like, I'm just gonna guess, about 2 years. Not Minecraft years, actual years. The reason I moved from that house to that house is because in an effort to find diamonds when I lived over here, I created a whole bunch of dig straight down holes, and then at random points I would stop and mine around that area. In doing that, caused little pockets in the ground for monsters to spawn in, and because it was really close to my house, I wasn't allowed to sleep because you can only sleep at night. You can only you can't sleep now. There are monsters nearby. Notifications. So I moved over there, and then time goes by, and I want to challenge myself. I wanted to go against a bunch of monsters. So what I did is before all this was here, I made a little castle, just a little one, which was this. It looked exactly like this, pretty much, except for the iron doors, shrubs, pumpkins, and creeper heads. Before the diner, I stocked it with lots of different weaponry, and I wanted a whole, because it was out in the open. I cleared down a bunch of trees, and then it was out in the open, so monsters would come towards me. And then when the monsters would come toward me, I would fight them. But night after night is very, very few. So I just decided to make that my house. Moved everything out for a third time. Or not a third time, maybe it was a third time, I don't know. So I moved everything out, had chests. And it got very small, the house, so I put all the chests in the ground. And so I had more room, but it was also a little annoying. And then I decided to build this diner, just as a little fun thing to do. I built it. Built this diner. Filled with plenty of food. All that food was in survival as well. And I'm like, how about I'll just build my house right next to it? So I did. Moved everything from down there to up here. I don't know why I still keep that around. And then start mining a 2x2 to reach to the other side. Just go straight. And at first that was a really good idea. But then I started encountering a whole bunch of dirt packs and gravel packs, and I'm like, why don't I just go ahead and dig these out? It'll expose a lot more. And so when I dig around, I got a whole bunch of dirt packs and stuff like that. And I got a lot more resources that way. You can see down here, here's a tunnel here, here's a tunnel here, that was a tunnel, and then these tunnels joined up with those. This was a tunnel. Is this a tunnel? I don't know. But some of these were pockets where there was dirt and gravel, and so I dug it out. You can see I missed some there. But it was a really good way for me to get a whole bunch of diamond and stuff like that. And so in doing that, I made a whole bunch of more material. And this shape right here is L, or zigzag. I built that going down here, and down here is a storage room. These contain tools. This was stuff to bring along to my underground adventure. Furnaces to smelt ore while I was down there, and chests to hold stuff, lots of torches. And then some of these chests right here, beforehand, holding stuff. Most of these are empty, but I put stuff in here. Some of these chests were from creative, I will admit that. But every single resource that you see in these chests were from survival. So I created this. This other room that you see up here is a chemistry room. This was built in survival. I mean creative. I haven't brewed anything in here yet. At least I don't think. No materials to brew. So that came a long time after. But this used to be, this whole house, this used to be like the nether part, that used to be stone. The same material. Actually, it was cobblestone. It was cobblestone. And then I built it out of stone, which is cobblestone heated up. And then just for fun, after I found the glitch to get all those diamond blocks that you saw in there, I built it out of, I think, either it was first gold blocks and then diamond blocks, or it was just diamond blocks. And then using the materials that I got from those, which again, these are not hacks or from creative. This was a part of the game back then. So using all the materials I got from these, I made the house what I have now. That was they're called nether fortresses back then. These were the nether fortresses for PE. But that was the first one I made. And I built this structure going up to here, and I summoned my first nether structure. And then it kind of grew out from there. So from the house here, we made little gardens, and then when my siblings began to play, we made that. We made little businesses all around. These came later. I actually, when I was getting serious about it, I drew up a lot of plans for the PlayStation and the sorry about that. I drew up a lot of, back then I made a lot of plans for the police station and the bank, because that was a big project. Before the bank and PlayStation were put in, I bet you're wondering what that is. Before the bank and police station, I was really fascinated with temples. I kept before I figured out that temples were, before they were put in Pocket Edition, I wanted to find some temples, these sand temples. So I kept creating seeds with deserts. I couldn't find any. So going off of my memory, or what I thought they looked like, I created one. And this is it. Whoop. So go ahead and look inside. So this is, nothing much was in the temple, and it didn't do what a temple was what a normal temple was supposed to do, but I decided to put a little game down here. So you're supposed to parkour across these, and that was it. And then you had chests here with stuff, and if you can see, there's an emerald block. This was those blocks, those gold and diamond blocks, were put there in survival, but that emerald block was put in creative, because you can only find emeralds in extreme hill biomes, and this world did not have an extreme hill biome. But just as a fun thing, I never ever set it off. I wanted to challenge my friends to do it. And I don't know why I did this, but over here I littered the floor with TNT. I don't know why, but I would see if they could try to make it without being blown up, and that was a stupid idea. Thankfully I never blew it up, because there would be a lot more damage. So it grew and it grew and it grew. That was a game I wanted to make. It was spawning a whole bunch of monsters, and then you just go in and fight them all, and that's it. And then that's pretty much it. Later, I will make a video about the nether reactor block and the stonecutter block. Blocks that were made back then that don't exist now, unless you are an old Minecraft Pocket Edition player. But I'll make a video on that, and it will not be a live stream, it'll just be a normal video. But yeah, alright, so this was a live stream test. Appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys later.